Contact Form 7 is one of the most popular WordPress form plugins to add contact forms to get queries from your site visitors, pick up leads and email subscriptions. In this tutorial, we will cover everything on creating and setting up forms using Contact Form 7 plugin, troubleshooting common problems and some of the essential Contact Form 7 add-ons. Let's see a quick overview. Installing and activating Contact Form 7. Setting up the form. Embedding the form on a WP page, sending the first form. Saving form submissions to WordPress in tables. Displaying form entries on WordPress pages and posts. Exporting data to Mailchimp. Embedding and styling Contact Form 7 in Elementor Page Builder. Styling contact forms without Elementor. Creating multi-step forms. Creating forms with conditional fields. Redirecting users after form submit. Stopping bot spamming using Google ReCaptcha and Honeypot. Finally, we will see what to do if you are not getting form submissions on your email account. Let's see the plugins that we will cover. Plugin links are provided in the description. Of course, the Contact Form 7 plugin, then we will cover Tablesome, Contact Form 7 database add-on with which you can save, edit and manipulate contact form entries. Next we will use Ultimate add-ons for Contact Form 7 plugin for styling, multi-step forms, conditionals forms and redirecting after form submit. Finally, we will use the WP Mail SMTP plugin to set up SMTP if your WordPress site does not send emails. First, we will install and activate the Contact Form 7 plugin. To do this, go to your WordPress dashboard, then go to the Plugins menu and click Add New. Search for Contact Form 7, install and activate the plugin. You can see that the contact item is added to the menu. You can edit the existing form on the page, or you can click Add New and create a contact form from scratch. Give this form a title. You can see that the form editor interface is a minimalistic interface, similar to a Markdown editor. So if you have experience with Markdown editors, you could quickly create and launch a contact form. Various form fields are listed on the top of the editor. Above the editor there are several tabs that have settings for sending emails and messages to users. When you are creating a new form, the Contact Form plugin automatically adds some default fields. You can see that various form fields are added as tags, and each tag has labels. Let's add the first text field. It opens as a pop-up and you can see that there are several options here. First, add this field as a required field. We can give this text field a name. I will name it as your name. Text field can also have a default value. You can use it when required. Fields can also have an ID attribute and a class attribute. When you are done, click Insert Tag and the field will be added to your form. Next, we will include the email field. We will add this field as a required field. I will name it your email. Then insert this tag. Then, Let's include the URL field. We could add this field as a required field, if necessary. I will name it your URL. Then insert this tag. Next, let's include the telephone field. Telephone number may not be a necessary field, so we will not have it as a required field. I will name it your telno. Then insert this tag. You can see that the asterisk is not in this field because it's not a required field. Next, let's include the number field. You can choose the field to be a spinbox or a slider. We could add this number field to be a necessary field. We will have this field to get user age. You can also have this field as a range, so we will set a number range. If you require additional information on using this number field to do some complex workflows, you can check the respective docs that will be linked to the field pop-up. After you're finished, insert this tag. Next, let's see the date field. We could add this date field as a required field. We will have this field to get the date of birth. You can also have this field as a date range. If you require additional information on using this date field to do some complex workflows, you can check the respective docs that will be linked to the field pop-up. Then insert this tag. Next, we will include the text area field. We could add this text area field as a required field. With this field we can get a text message. If you require additional information on using this text area field, you can check the respective docs that is linked to the field. Then insert this tag. Next, let's see the drop-down menu field. We will add this drop-down field as a required field. Let's give it a name. Then give a set of options. You should add one option per line. We can give the option to allow multiple selections. If you require additional information on using this number field to do some complex workflows, you can check the respective docs that will be linked to the field pop-up. Then insert this tag. Rest of the form fields are similar to the ones we have already seen. You can open each one of them and try them yourself, if you have some specific requirements. Now that we have added these form fields, let's see how it will look on the front end. Contact Form 7 does not come with a preview option, so we will embed this form on a WordPress page and see how it looks on the front end. Before that, let's save the form that we just created. We can do this in two ways. First, copy the shortcode that is shown below the form title. Then in the dashboard menu go to Pages and then click Add New to add a new plugin. Give this page an appropriate title. Then click the plus button to add a new block. Then search for the shortcode block. You can select this block and then add the shortcode that we have just copied. If you're using the classic editor, you can directly paste the shortcode in the editor. But we will use a different method here because Contact Form 7 comes with a Gutenberg block to embed a form in the block editor. Search for the Contact Form 7 Gutenberg block and add it to the page. In the block you can choose the form you want to embed from a list of contact forms. Select the form you want and then publish the page. Then click View Page. We can see the form that we have just created on the WordPress front end. All the form fields that we have added in the editor are here. We have not added labels to fields. Below are the form fields, which were added by default. These fields have labels. So let's go back to the form editor, and add the labels to the form fields that we have created. We can copy the label tags, and paste it in our form fields. Let's add labels to all the form fields. Give each field their appropriate labels, and save the changes. If we refresh the contact form page, we can see that the labels we have added are here. Then we will remove the default fields that were automatically added. Let's move on to email settings. To customize email, go to the Mail tab near the form title. When a visitor submits a form, the CF7 plugin will send you an email to notify you that a new form has been submitted. The CF7 plugin comes with various options to customize the email that is sent to you. You can change the from and to address of the email. Also change the subject and content of the email. After making the changes, save the form. Then go to the Message tab. Here you can change the various messages that will be displayed after form submit, failure of form submissions, and some other validations, errors, etc. After making the changes, save the form. Then go to the Additional Settings tab. Here you can add some code snippets to customize the contact form. This is not required now. If you require additional information on customizing the mail settings, messages, and additional settings, you can check the respective docs that will be linked under each pop-up. Now that we have made all the changes in the form settings, let's send a test form and see if the form is submitted properly. We can see that the form success message is the same one that we customized. After form submission, go to your email inbox and check if you received the form submission email. We have successfully received the form submission in our email, based on the settings that we added. You might want to add a placeholder text within the form input area. To do this, go back to the form editor, and click the text field button. In the pop-up, you can see that there is an option to include a placeholder text in the default value option. Add a placeholder text and then click Insert Tag. Then, copy and paste the placeholder text with the field we have previously created. We will do the same of all other fields and edit the placeholder for the respective form fields. After adding all the placeholder texts, save the form. Then, go back and refresh the form. We can see that the placeholder text we have added are here. What you are seeing is an example of an email inbox. You could get thousands of emails every day, and a form submission which is sent to your email inbox may get lost in a mess. Also, sometimes the email may not be delivered or sent to spam and could potentially get lost. So it's best to save form submissions to your site, so you can access them anytime. To save contact Form 7 submissions in WordPress, we need to install the CF7 plugin. To do this, go to your WordPress dashboard, then go to the Plugins menu and click Add New. Search for CF7 install and activate the plugin. Besides saving your form entries, you also can view, edit, delete, export contacts to Mailchimp, or even automatically display the form entries on the WordPress front-end in posts and pages. To save form entries, create a new table by going to CF7 and clicking Create New Table. CF7 comes with a simple but elegant triggers and actions interface to save contact form submissions. Triggers determine when an action is performed. Actions determine what action will be performed. Let's create a new trigger. First, select the integration that is the form plugin. We will select Contact Form 7 now. Then select the type of action for the trigger. Here it is on Form Submit, and then select the form from which you need to collect the submissions. Form names will be listed here. Then select the action. Select CF7 action and row so that form submissions will be saved as a new row in the table. Next is field matching. You need to match the form fields with the table columns. You can change column names to match the form fields. Also, you need to change the column type, that is the table data format, to match form fields. You can choose to save only the necessary form fields. Now it's done. You can save the table and the form submissions will be collected in the table. You could also add multiple actions for the same trigger, so it allows you to do secondary actions such as sending the data to Mailchimp, etc. Let's submit a form and see if it gets stored. We have received the email in our inbox, so it should also be stored in the table. If we refresh the table, we can see the data that we just sent is stored in the table. Besides saving your form entries, you also can view, edit, and delete the form entries. You can also display the form entries on the WordPress front end on posts and pages. To do this, copy the table shortcode that is displayed here. Create a new page or edit an existing page. Open a shortcode block and paste the table shortcode. Let's publish and check the page. Our form entries are displayed on this page neatly in a table. Your users can also make use of the search and sorting options provided by the CF7 plugin. You could also customize the table display using CF7 settings. You can change the background color, font, and font size of the table. You can enable or disable various table options such as search, sorting, pagination, and filters in the CF7 settings. CF7 also provides advanced filters to filter table content. It will be very useful when you have hundreds and thousands of form entries. The table options are available both on front end and back end. Finally, you could export the form entries as CSV and XLSX files. With CF7 you can integrate Mailchimp with the Contact Form 7 plugin. You can automatically export the contact data from form submissions to Mailchimp when a new form is submitted. When you select an action to be performed, you have to choose Mailchimp to export the data to the Mailchimp tool. To do this, log into your Mailchimp account, go to your profile and then select Account. Then choose Extras and then API Keys. Here you can find a list of generated API keys. If you have not generated an API key, select Create a Key. Here we have already created an API key, so we will copy and use it. Then go back to the table and click on Go to Mailchimp Settings. Here paste the API key that we have just copied. After pasting the key, click Connect to Mailchimp and it will be connected. Then go back to the table that we just created. We can add exporting to Mailchimp action as a secondary action to saving contact form 7. In the table, go to Action and select Mailchimp and add row action. Then select the Mailchimp audience in which we want to add the contact form submissions. Then you should match the table fields with contact form fields. You have to match each form field with the corresponding table field. TableSum also allows you to apply certain conditions in order to export contact to Mailchimp. You can filter the form data before it can be exported. You also select the Mailchimp tag which you want to add to the contacts that are being added through this form. Now we have added both saving to TableSum table action and exporting to Mailchimp action form the same contact form 7 trigger. Let's save the table. Our table is saved. Now let's see if a contact form submission will be exported to a Mailchimp account. We will send a test form and see if it is exported. Our form is submitted. We have received the email in our inbox, so it should also be stored in the table. Let's check the Mailchimp account and go to Audience Dashboard, All Contacts and select the audience. Here we can see that the contact is added to Mailchimp contacts. Elementor is a very popular page builder, and you can embed contact form 7 forms in Elementor pages. Let's see how. On this site we have installed the Elementor plugin. Let's add a new page and give it a title. Save the page to draft and click Edit with Elementor. Select a layout to embed the form. Search for the shortcode widget in the Elementor toolbar. Go to Contact Form 7 and copy the shortcode of the form that you want to embed. Paste shortcode in the Elementor widget and the form will be embedded on the page. In the Elementor editor, you can adjust the widget of the form fields and you can also add a background color. But if you want more styling options for Contact Form 7 in Elementor Editor, you have to install another plugin. To do this, go to Plugins and click Add New. Search for Contact Form 7 widget for Elementor. And install and activate Void Contact Form 7 widget for Elementor plugin. Go back to the Elementor editor page, add and refresh it. Add another layout and then search for Void Contact Form 7 widget and add this widget to the page. Select the form that you want to add to this page. Go to the Style tab of the Void Contact Form 7 widget. Here you can find styling options for various parts of the form. You can change the background color, width, typography and many more. Spend some time to play with these settings and create the form that best suits your site. After you're done, save and view the Elementor page. If you're not using a page builder, and you still want to style the contact form, without using any codes, There's another plugin that we can use to style the forms and some more. Go to your WordPress dashboard, to Plugins and click Add New. Search for Ultimate Add-ons for Contact Form 7 and install and activate the plugin. After installing, go to the contact form which you want to style. You can see that Ultimate Add-ons for Contact Form 7 has added more tabs to your form editor. Here click on the Ultimate Form Styler tab. Also, open the page in which the form we want to style is embedded, so that we can see the changes as we are making it. Go back to the Form Style Editor page. Here you can find styling options for multiple sections of the form, such as label options, input field options and submit button options. You can change the color, background color, padding, margins, and font style, weight, size and family. Make the changes that you want and save the form. Go to the form page and refresh it and see that style changes are reflected on the form. You can edit the style again until you get the contact form that best suits your taste. Ultimate Add-ons for Contact Form 7 plugin also allows you to create multi-step forms. Let's see how to create multi-step forms in Contact Form 7. To do this, click on the Ultimate Multi-step tab. Tick the check mark that says "Is it a multi-step form?" and save it. Go to the Main Form tab. And you can see the multi-step start and multi-step end options at the top. You have to place the start and stop tags for each step of the form submission. Go to where you want to place the start tag and then click on the multi-step start. In the pop-up, give it a proper name and insert the tag. Go to where you want to end the step and click on Multi-step Forms End and then insert the tag. Do the same for next steps. At the end, place the multi-step end tag after the submit button so that the steps end after the form is submitted. After adding the steps, save the form and go to the form page. Let's test this form and see if the multi-step is working. Ultimate Add-ons for Contact Form 7 plugin also allows to create conditional forms. We will see how to create conditional forms. For this we will use the conditional wrapper tag. We will have to place the conditional tag in the fields that we have to make as conditional. After adding the conditional tags, save the form. Then go to the Ultimate Conditional Fields tab. In the Conditional Fields settings, add a new rule. Choose Show and select the conditional element that we have just created. Then select the form field from the list of form fields in which you want to apply the condition. Here we will choose the product form field. In the last field, give the value for which you want to apply the condition. Create another rule and select the second conditional element that we have created. Select the same product from field and give the second option. Let's save the form and see how the conditional field works. We have made the What phone do you use? Drop-down field as a conditional field. If people choose Samsung, conditions will be applied to bring conditional field 569, and choosing iPhone will bring conditional field 570. Now we will see how to redirect after form submission. Go to the Ultimate Redirect tab. This option allows you to redirect users to another page, like a thank you page after form submission. You can redirect to an internally linked page or to an external page. Here I will redirect to an internally created thank you page. Let's save the form and see if the redirection is working for submit. Spamming. When your site grows in traffic, you would attract spam bots which send spam messages in your forms. You can stop these spam bots by integrating your forms with Google ReCaptcha. To do this, you need to log in to Google ReCaptcha. In the dashboard, you have to create new API keys for each website in which you are using ReCaptcha. You can generate a new set of API keys by clicking on the plus button in the dashboard. You have to give your domain name and select which version of ReCaptcha you want to use. Then add your domain name. Accept their terms and then click Submit. I have already created a set of API keys. We have to copy and paste the API keys to your WordPress site. Go to the WordPress site and click the integration item under the Contact Form 7. Here click Setup Integration under the ReCaptcha. In this page paste the API keys which we have generated. After pasting the keys click Save Changes. Since my demo site is a locally hosted site, it shows an error message, but it will work fine in your live site. You can also use Honeypot to stop bots. To do this go to Plugins and click Add New. Search for Honeypot and install and activate Honeypot for Contact Form 7 plugin. After installing go to Honeypot settings. Click Store the Honeypot value and it will be added to your contact form. One of the most common problems faced by WordPress form users is that emails might not be sent from WordPress sites and your form submissions might get lost. You can set up an SMTP server to send emails from your site. There are a lot of SMTP servers available to do this. I'm using a free SMTP server from Mailchimp. If you click Setup My SMTP, it gives you a Setup SMTP credential. You have to enter these credentials in your WordPress site. To integrate SMTP you have to use an SMTP plugin. Go to Plugins and click Add New. Search for SMTP and install and activate WP Mail SMTP by WP Forms plugin. After activating, go to WP Mail SMTP settings. Then click on Launch Setup Wizard. It comes with many SMTP options. Since MailerJet is not here we will choose other SMTP. If you have an SMTP server for which an option is available, please select it. Then click Save and Continue. In this page you have to copy and paste the SMTP credentials that are provided by your SMTP server host. Then give which email from which you want to send the email. Then click Save and Continue. Finish the setup and then test if email is being sent. If we check the inbox, we can see that email is sent from the SMTP server. So you will not have problems with contact form emails. Thanks for watching. Ask your questions in the comments and subscribe to our channel.